Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great one so far. Today we're discussing Crypto.com and a new DeFi report that they have authored with help from friends and consultants from the Boston Consulting Group. It is a decentralized finance report that tempers the anticipated potential of DeFi with an honest assessment of current challenges facing the industry and the underlying technology. It's about 20 or so pages, so we'll skim through it and take a look at the highlights for you guys and single those out. We'll also be taking a look at ShareRing, which is in the news. Their monthly newsletter highlights new exchanges and new team members that have been added. We're also celebrating 30 million ShareRing ID accounts. Cypherium is in the news. They have a new smart contract blockchain crowd sale. Registration details will be covered in this video. We're taking a look as well at Open.io, which is a non-custodial investment protocol. Ampleforth is in the news with Beehive version 2, which launches today. And then we'll close things off with our Altcoin Buzz Tomo Giveaway. We're giving $50 away worth of Tomochain. Details at the very end of this video. Guys, if you like this kind of content, so Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, that is what we cover. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's kick things off with a look at the markets today. We're on CoinGecko.com. We're up a little bit, actually, up 2.3% on the day. That brings us to $340.99 billion. So there was a steady little uptick that we've seen in the last maybe 24 to 36 hours. As you can see, Bitcoin up 0.7%, Ethereum up 5%, a few different projects also doing nicely. Polkadot up another 4.4%. Binance coin continues to climb 5.2%, so not too bad all around. Some moderate losses as well, but Bitcoin right now sitting comfortably above 10K at $10,301.92, with a dominance that's starting to slip a little bit, however, 55.8%. Crypto.com here on Twitter. The handle is @CryptoCom. Make sure you're following. The rapid rise of DeFi has many asking, what are the implications for the financial services industry? Well, we partnered with BCG, Boston Consulting Group, to answer that question and more in our report, which is available here. This is the report itself, guys. The sudden rise of DeFi, opportunities and risks for financial services. So as I mentioned, it's a collaboration between Crypto.com and the Boston Consulting Group. It is about 20 or so pages long. So, you could get through this in about 30 minutes or so, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how much cross-referencing and research you're doing. But I do encourage you all to read it. We'll link to it first and foremost in the description below. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here and some of the main conclusions that are drawn. I think it's safe to assume that at a top level, many of you understand, at least roughly speaking, decentralized finance. Let's discuss, however, its structure. So DeFi refers to financial services that are built on public blockchains and based on open protocols and decentralized applications, otherwise known as dApps, which is what we sometimes call them, allowing all aspects of the platform to be automated and performed without a central authority or an intermediary, very importantly. Conversely, traditional finance relies on intermediaries and centralized institutions. Although many cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum are decentralized and have no intermediaries, the tokens themselves are not inherently a financial service or a platform. DeFi only refers to financial services built on programmable blockchains. Here now are some of the most prominent characteristics that you'll see with decentralized finance. The characteristics are as follow: disintermediation, permissionless and borderless, autonomous and self-adjusting, open source and transparent, low overhead, meaning very low costs versus traditional brick and mortar parallels or institutions, dynamic, that refers to being nimble, being agile, being able to adapt, of course, atomic, in other words, modular. Transactions can also occur atomically, which allows a single network request to comprise multiple transactions across multiple protocols, and composable and modular. This, however, has led to certain growing pains that we've discussed multiple times on this channel. Some of these are familiar. Some of these may come to you as a little bit of a surprise, but these are generally what we see as the challenges and the hurdles that we're now facing. Blockchain throughput and high network fees. Of course, that's been the story really of these last couple of weeks. That's one major problem to be sure. Number two, currently limited liquidity. Number three, security and smart contract risk. These are all things, of course, that are still evolving and are still being ironed out. Over-collateralized and over-collateralization, regulatory risk at number 5, and consolidation of DeFi protocols around a single network at number 6. And ultimately, number 6, if you think about it, this is kind of this emergent problem that harkens back to what we were trying to escape in the first place. If you think about it, that centralization was something that we were trying to get away from with many of these DeFi initiatives. And then just based by virtue on the way sometimes things evolve, you have this effect where you are seeing so-called decentralized projects revolving around a central network. And of course, the main areas of disruption that DeFi is currently targeting are payments, lending, and certainly exchanges as well. We're seeing more and more in terms of the evolution of decentralized exchanges. That's not to say it's an exhaustive list, but those are certainly three key areas right now that I think are arguably evolving more than others. In conclusion here, regulation and governance have meant that centralized finance industry excludes an enormous proportion of the world from access to financial instruments, increasing the wealth divide. DeFi has the potential to bridge the gap and disrupt traditional finance by making money, payments, and other financial services universally accessible. This does not mean it will immediately threaten traditional institutions. Instead, DeFi is encouraging commercial FIs, central banks, and the crypto community to start collaborating today and build a new generation of politically and technologically resilient financial solutions, not just for emerging economies, but also companies looking to innovate or locked out of traditional finance in developed economies. You can also take a look at the authors here. So these individuals from Boston Consulting Group, and the appendix is actually fairly robust. It offers use cases and applications for DeFi. So a whole column of protocols here as well as descriptions. You may want to take a look at this. We really only just skimmed over this, guys, at a very superficial level, admittedly, but it's too long to really dive into in a full video while also covering the rest of the news. What I'd recommend is you check it out along with all the other great research that Crypto.com is doing. You can read about, and these are longer reads, by the way. You can see here, these are 32-minute reads, 30-minute reads, 40-minute reads, but you can read about decentralized finance, returns, Compound, MakerDAO, Uniswap, and other projects and initiatives as well in the space. We imagine, our understanding is that this is something that they're trying to increase. They're going to be adding more and more to this library of publicly available research. So check out Crypto.com on the regular for more if you're into the research aspect of things and you'd like to brush up on your knowledge relating to these, fairly difficult concepts. Let's be honest. We'll link to all of this, guys, in the description below. At ShareRing Global here on Twitter, make sure you're following. The ShareRing newsletter has been released. Catch up on all the latest news over the past month. Some of the highlights from that newsletter include new exchanges, different events that are coming up, new additions to the team, so new staff, product teasers, and more. You can check out those updates here with the ShareRing newsletter. They're also celebrating something else. One of our partners alone expect to have about 30 million ShareRing ID accounts and over 45 million transactions a year. Thailand normally processes about 5 to 10 million e-visas a year. You can read more about this important development and this important milestone here with this Ask Me Anything. It's linked to right here. So very impressive figure, 30 million ShareRing ID accounts. Kudos. Okay, we are now discussing Cypherium. We've talked about this project in the past. Their public token sale is now beginning. They are a decentralized smart contract platform for creating and connecting CBDCs. Those are central bank digital currencies, enterprise applications, apps, and digital assets. We're here now on Bitcoinist.com. Smart contract blockchain Cypherium launches crowd sale registration today. This article from yesterday, but as we'll get to in a second, that is still coming up, that particular crowd sale. At 2000 hours UTC on the 9th of September, registration for the Cypherium crowd sale will commence. So that was yesterday. The sale itself will occur on the 14th of September via the TokenSoft platform. KYC, Know Your Customer, is required to participate in the public crowd sale. Some details now about the Cypherium token sale itself. 300 million CPH tokens will be made available in the public sale, which is taking place on the 14th of September. This is notably lower than the initially proposed threshold of 400 million. The public sale will be split into two phases, with 200 million tokens initially made available for 0.25 USDT each, and the remainder will be sold at 0.28 USDT each, and any leftover tokens will be assigned to the Cypherium Ecosystem Fund. Cypherium is betting on businesses and governments taking to blockchain en masse, be it to trial UBI, launch CBDCs, or simply experiment with pilot projects for things like energy credit trading and social causes. And to facilitate this, it's ensured that the Cypherium virtual machine runs Java. This will enable developers at major enterprises to easily create dApps without the need to master a programming language such as Solidity. Okay, we're now taking a look for the first time at a project called Ofen here on the website ofen.io. It is a non-custodial investment protocol, and we'll be taking a look briefly at what they have to offer, what they purport to be all about. What is Ofen? It's a non-custodial investment protocol that enables novices to invest directly into the funds managed by seasoned crypto traders. So we've seen a little bit of this model in the past. Ofen seems to be putting a unique spin on it here. You can follow them at Ofen Protocol on Twitter. Ofen token, ON presale 1, will be hosted on Bounce Finance on the 9th of September at 2 p.m. UTC. Stay tuned for more details. Unfortunately, we're a little bit late to the party here. This was tweeted a few days ago on the 5th of September, and that presale number 1 that was hosted, that was yesterday, in fact, but we can still talk a little bit about the project and what they're all about. So here on medium.com, introducing Ofen, a non-custodial investment protocol. So what exactly is Ofen and how does it work? As I mentioned, it's a non-custodial investment protocol that enables novices to invest directly into funds managed by others, managed by people ostensibly that know what they're doing, that are a little bit more experienced. So what problem does Ofen solve and why should it matter to us? Ofen investment protocol allows anyone to directly invest in the non-custodial investment pools of other more seasoned crypto traders, hence saving them from the need to micromanage their portfolio every day for higher asset growth or ROI. You guys may have some familiarity or even experience yourselves with these mechanics from an eToro perspective, for example. It's not totally dissimilar. So this makes cryptocurrency investment easy and convenient. When expert traders manage investment pools on behalf of investors, they get a portion of the profit made from it as proposed during the creation of the investment pool by the pool operator. They can redeem it either at the end of the predefined term in the fund or before that when the investor withdraws the liquidity from the pool. This is a win-win for both the investor as well as the trader who manages the fund. And to negate the chances of pool operators pulling off a fraud with investors who have invested in their pools, Ofen uses its own custodial order router, which only routes trades between whitelisted asset pools, and it always locks from and to address before sending orders for execution to prevent a rerouting of assets. So once again, guys, apologies. We were a little bit late to this news regarding the pre-sale of the Ofen token. Ticker is ON. That did happen yesterday on the 9th of September, but we'll stay tuned. We're going to be keeping an eye on this project. We're not quite endorsing it just yet, but it's an interesting proposal, certainly, and we'd like to see how and if and when it evolves. We'll, of course, update you to that news when we see it happening on our side of things. Okay, moving right along now, we're discussing Ampleforth, which has been on a pretty wild tear, even despite the retracement, I guess you could call it, recently. Ampleforth was one of those projects that really bounced right back up with a lot of vigor. As you can see here, Ampleforth today alone is up 58.4%. Pretty crazy. Let's zoom out a little bit. You can really see the wild rise that Ampleforth enjoyed, I guess, about 2 weeks or so ago. We're now on the 30-day or 1 month chart. As you can see here, Ampleforth really climbed very, very steadily to about the $2.40 mark and, crashed along with a lot of other projects, let's face it, but is now upticking again, or so it would seem. So they have news here in the form of their Beehive version 2, which is launched today. At Ampleforth.org is the Twitter handle. Make sure you're following. And this is from a little while ago, the 3rd of September, so exactly a week ago, but it relates to something that is happening today on the 10th of September. They tweet, after the successful launch of our liquidity mining program, our biggest Ample geyser buzzes on. Beehive version 2 launches on the 10th of September. And you can read more about it here on ampletalk.org. We'll link to that in the description below. But quite, I guess, a good day for Ample in terms of the enthusiasm that surrounds the release of Beehive version 2. Again, at $1.11, the project is up 58.4% on the day. You guys can read more about Ample Geyser and Beehive 2.0 here on ampletalk.org. Okay, finally for today, and as promised, Altcoin Buzz is giving away $50 worth of Tomo. At Altcoin Buzz IO is the handle. Make sure you're following on Twitter. So we are giving away $50 worth of Tomochain. Winner gets 74 Tomo, or about $50. Look, whatever $50 is at the time of the giveaway, that's what you'll get. It's approximately 74 right now. Here's what you have to do. The following 3 steps. You have to like and retweet. That's number 1. You have to follow Altcoin Buzz IO on Twitter, and you have to reply with with any fact or opinion about Tomochain and tag Tomochain. And this ends on the 16th of September. So you have another 6 days to participate. Best of luck to anybody that enters. Hey, it's a very simple competition, $50 worth of Tomo. You may as well throw your hat into the race. Best of luck if you do. That about wraps it up for today, everybody. Do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell to receive notifications. If you guys enjoyed today's video, best of luck, of course, if you choose to invest on this Thursday. Stay safe out there, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.